jump up to 105. And so for me, I want to build a legacy in just one weight class. And I think all the weight classes are legitimate. 64 kilogram women's weight class, the 105 men, the 90 men, it's all great, legitimate weight classes. I want to build a legacy in one weight class. And for me, I will travel and go anywhere where I feel like I'm going against the best of my weight class. And so the four majors that I identified, I feel like those are where the best guys go, and that's the shows that I will show up at and compete to prove to myself. And that's how I get fulfilled is I've won and I can prove that I'm the best of my weight class.
That's
That's
awesome.
what kind of drives me to train and drives me to just keep doing this. I guess that's really the number one thing that drives me. Prize money, I mean, everybody likes prize money. I like promoters who are business savvy and and I feel like have a model that can grow the sport and have prize money. And I feel like when you have prize money, the best guys will show up too. So it's kind of an important piece of that. So uh, that would be a second factor, I guess, prize money. But another factor is like a great venue. When we do strongman, the prize money is not crazy high for weight class strongman. I like to go and turn it into a little vacation.
Sure.
So, that's one reason I am considering going back, maybe doing Strongman Champions League. They are in Finland and they do like every couple of years, they do a lightweight world championship. That would be a fun one to do it. I've done that once and it'd be fun to go back and take Megan and do like a vacation in Finland.
Sure. Yeah.
You go places around the world that you never would have visited. I know, where was the Extinct Games? Is that in
Singapore. Heard good
Thailand?
things.
Yeah, so that I heard good things about that. That would be a cool one, even though you may not have all of the best. There was several really good athletes there, though.
I think for the
You had,
experience.
you had Mark Cummings there, who's a great 90 kilogram athlete. And so before the
Connor,
experience,
Connor Smith too, who we went against at PSL 90.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those would be probably my second and third reasons. For me, though, what drives me the most is going where the best are.
Yeah. Let me stop you guys. I need to apologize. My heart just sank. I hit record at the beginning of this, and there was an extra prompt at the bottom of my screen that said record to this computer or to the cloud, and I didn't click it. That first 30 minutes wasn't recording. Like we had there was so much good conversation. I'm surprised you guys are laughing. I was pissed. Like there was so much good stuff there. I apologize. I still have a lot of great questions to ask so we can get some points across. Man,
Okay.
like this is falling on my shield here. Part of learning how to podcast on the fly.
That's
Um,
okay.
I'll get it back on the rails and maybe Meg, I could have you back on because what we talked about, guys, apologies for 30 minutes is how we did PSL, a lot of OSG stuff. We talked about other organizations. Meg talked about her journey coming from New Zealand. A lot of great stuff. Maybe Meg, I can get you on again when I go to hype up the champion shows because that's one thing I didn't say. After all the interviews with qualifiers, I'm going to start hyping up the 105 and 82s. Then I'm going to do like the Masters, the 90s, etc. But let me get it back on the rails. The question I asked, because that's right when I hit record, was being that you guys are at like the highest level, you're basically qualified for everything being pros. How do you select shows? Is it calendar, timing, the events, the roster, the location? So we just got Tyler's answer. We Tarantinoed that one. Meg, if you want to answer the same question, please.
Um, I will be completely honest. This year for me, obviously moving to America and having close proximity, I said to Tyler, "All right, I want to do it all." Because for the last, I mean, since 23, it's been at least 26 to 34 hours of flying. It's meant a whole 10 days. It's been just craziness. And this year, I was like, I can do Americas where a lot of my friends are. I can experience show. I can do all of these things without jet lag, without sinking three, four, $5,000. Um,
Big investment.
and I mean, I've got a wonderful human being here who has absolute blind faith in my abilities and was like, okay, if you want to do this, you want to put it on the calendar, let's do it.
Yeah.
Um,
When did you officially move here? Was it for OSG last year, or did you just move? You just said it. I think I missed it.
That's your green card.
I officially moved in March. I've been coming back.
March of this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I did in the intro. I talked about the wild run that Meg is on. She got second at OSG last year, so you were still a New Zealander. Well, you're always a New Zealander. You lived in New Zealand. This year, guys, she ran the gauntlet, right? We call it kind of like the Meg Slam. She won America's Strongest Woman. She won the Shaw. She won PSL, and you just got was it third at OSG, right? I'm going off memory now. So incredible run, and here we are. If you want to finish answering the question, how you select shows.
Um, yeah, so literally this year I was in such close proximity to everything. It didn't make sense in my brain not to do it. And I didn't start out this year going, I'm going to win everything because I certainly was not in that frame of mind. You know, like moving countries is a huge thing, adjusting to life here, and trying to find my feeding and then just trying to reestablish life. Um, so yeah, I started the year out just being like, I want to throw myself in there. I want to see what my body is capable of because like as much as I had messages from people being like, you look great. You're not tired. You can do this. I'm like, it is hard to run four majors back to back. From Americas, OSG is the only one where I had more than 6 weeks between a competition.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, you talk about Tyler being able to build like static strength and have, just keep his cardio system in check. I was literally just running myself into the ground over and over and over again. Um, but from my experience this year, it shows moving forward, I am going to choose the shows that value athletes, that value where I want the sport to go, what I value as a person and as an athlete, and what I want it to grow into. PSL definitely embodies that because Tyler doesn't take shit from anyone.
Feel free to swear. Yep, you're right.
He won't take it on social media. He won't take it in person. And if you're at his competition and you're trying to walk around with your ego and all of those things, he will take you down a notch.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
That means more to me than, I don't know, more prize money or whatever. A promoter that actually gives a shit about the athletes, like, even though we had the whole live stream issue, Tyler literally spent the entirety of our show apologizing about that and then saying, but here's what I'm trying to do. But here's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, something wasn't right, but he was putting actions in place to show us that, we are valued and he's trying for us, which as a lightweight female athlete doesn't happen a lot.
Right. And you get the same treatment that the 90s did, even though you went first, we went second. It doesn't matter, right? And I wish the live stream was working for you guys so you'd have that moment, so you can rewatch it. Like I rewatch my live stream here and there. Tyler is working on that. We're talking about it tomorrow, like some of the electrical issues which you talked about. It's funny. That's a perfect segue to the next question. And it's funny how these podcast things work. When we just get to talking, I ask questions before I was really ready to because it just comes up. And Tyler, you already talked about what you like about PSL, but one of my questions was, and hopefully you can recreate the magic of 15 minutes ago, Tyler. What stands out to you guys pertaining to PSL in particular? Which Meg, you kind of already answered, Tyler, if you want.
Yeah, Tyler, and his willingness to help athletes and his forethought and where he sees it going.
Yeah, also an important thing for us, Megan has family in Scotland. I have family here in Grand Bay, Alabama. And they're our biggest fans. My mom and dad, her parents and my cousin's family, and they want to tune in and watch us compete. And PSL has the best format for that. So, PSL, you're only running 2 weight classes in a day, and they get to see me compete in an event. And then there's 15-minute break with some advertisements from sponsors, great sponsors. And then there's the next event. We go straight into the next event. And so for them, it's exciting to watch. It's like a sporting event, just like you'd watch college football, versus other majors. The 4 majors would be Official Strongman Games, Pro Strongman League, Ultimate Strongman, and the Arnold World Championships. For weight class strongman, That's what I would consider as the four majors. And so, of the four, Pro Strongman League has a really good format for the audience. And so, yeah, for us, it's like really fun to tell our parents to tune in to the YouTube and watch us live. And they enjoy it. It's like a sporting event for them versus some of the other ones, like official strongman games, where you get 500 athletes and you're running through, and they have to, your family's messaging you, when do you go next? And so it's that's the biggest. And that's why I think, back in PSL, because I think it has the most potential for growth.
Mhm.
Um,
And
that's if I had to pick the one thing that's the most incredible about it would be that Tyler Purdue also does a great job. He listens, he communicates very well. The prize money is great compared to other weight class strongman competitions.
the event win bonuses.
Event
Yeah.
win bonuses. He doesn't charge anything for to join to enter. There's no entry fee.
Yep.
I feel like
Free
he
live
does a
stream.
yeah, and when you have a professional strongman competition, world championship level, to me, you really should only have about 10, maybe 15 guys. You shouldn't really have a whole class of 40 athletes.
Yeah.
You need to choose the best of the best and have a world championship. And I like that because when you go to watch it, when you watch 10, 15 guys, you can really learn about each guy, and give each person the attention they deserve because they have achieved that elite level
Yeah.
versus a competition like Fish Strongman is where you have 45 guys in one class. You can't really learn about every athlete, when you got 45 of them in one class. So that's another thing. Just, get the best of the best. So.
Yeah, it's more easily digestible, right? And like I said, the live stream's free. I love OSG, and I would, like I said earlier, it wasn't recording. I wouldn't want to talk down about one org to make one org look good, but like with the OSG live stream, my family's like, "How can I watch? How can I watch?" I said, "Well, you got to subscribe, but then you can cancel, or I can give you my password and this and that." I said, I'll just send you clips later." But they want to watch,
Yeah.
but they don't want to watch all day, wondering when I'm going. I said, "Well, I might be on at 1:30 with PSL. I don't feel bad. Hey man, it's on YouTube. It's free. Here's a link. We go on at 3:30, be over by 6:30." Right? Very easy digestible. Tyler, I could tell that you're authentic because people couldn't see it 20 minutes ago, but you had just had the same exact answer as to why you choose PSL. So you know it's authentic and not rehearsed. And great job, man. I wish the people could have seen it again. I apologize for that. And one, like you guys said about Tyler, like, and I'm trying not to talk too much, but I'll shout out Tyler Purdue. Without like saying names, I have a friend who's pretty big in the sport, and this person, it's weird I say this person because it's a woman, not a man, but this woman doesn't really have any sponsorships, and it's like one of the best in the world, and like nothing's coming up. Companies have ghosted her, and I'm talking to Tyler about it because of the notorious lifts that we got. So I made a little hype video saying, "Hey, my friend really likes these shoes, and she's going to a huge show." And he said, "Hey, man, like that's not the way to do it with those guys. They're not into that type of stuff." But he's like, "If you'd like, as Tyler Purdue, not as PSL, I'll email an introduction if she wants." And he did, and they linked up, and they sent her a care package, and she wore the shoes at the show, and maybe that's going to become something. And he did that out of the goodness of his heart because he's just kind to me. He doesn't even know this athlete, and this athlete is in a weight class that PSL doesn't even offer. So it shows that he does care not just about his athletes, but about the sport in general, and things like that. Like you never can be the guy to post that kind of stuff. It's like doing charity work and bragging about it, right? But the things like that, when we can say the great things that he does for us, I think it goes a long way to help the perception and hype up the league, you know. And they also do a lot of work with charity, man. Every show they have a charitable partner, and we try and raise money as athletes to help out the charities that PSL chooses. I think that philanthropy can only help the sport. If some big like benefactor charity whatever sees like, wow, these guys are actually giving back. And at the show I was taking side bets with guys trying to raise money for dogs, and if some billionaire company sees that and says, wow, PSL's athletes give back to charity, like I want to get involved in that organization, right? So that's another thing I love about it. Let's get some more questions. We got a few more. Do you guys have time? I know it's been about 45 minutes. You got 10 or 15 more?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Appreciate it. Me and Hein went about an hour and a half, and we could have gone 3 hours. Like if you guys watch it, I was. Um, all right, here's a good one. These are all ones I came up with, and we'll get to fan questions, which I have a funny joke on that. Tyler, you're the defending champ. You have the silhouette on your shirt. Are you going to keep the same silhouette next year? Or are you going to change it?
Yeah, I'm right behind. I'm right behind you. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. Here he is, guys. This one is Tyler. I'm not sure who the main logo is molded after. It's badass.
That's,
It's funny. You and
Nikolai.
Nick Hine
that's
both have
Nikolai
circus.
Myers, actually, on the
Yeah,
main logo.
that's Nick
Nikolai
Hine.
Myers. Mhm. No,
Oh,
Nikolai Myers.
Nick Myers. Yes. All right, Uncle
All right.
Nick. Yep. He's
Yeah, I
another
think
one.
that's him.
I met him at PSL Baltimore. Like I was in the gym and that happens to be his gym. I'm like, yo, Uncle Nick. And we became buddies. And then it's funny, we hit the same sauna for OSG. And it was like we were old friends. Talk about a guy like me, just a guy up and coming, like kind of like Meg you were a couple years ago. And then you
Yeah.
get camaraderie with like it's a reason why you guys maybe agreed to join this podcast because we've met, you know. So Tyler, you're gonna change this to a different logo next year or same one?
No, I want to keep it the same because I had good luck with that one. So
Yeah.
I got a repeat.
My
Yeah, I
only
think
it's awesome, right? That could be your custom thing, right? Like your Jordan silhouette. But selfishly, I wish it was something different because like I have so many PSL shirts. I have so many of these shirts with my buddies' names on them. You know what I mean? And now, Meg, you're a champion. You're gonna get a silhouette. Do you have it picked out yet?
No, but I reckon it should be the Scorpion from 23.
Ooh.
So, guys, about 45 minutes ago, they told me about the Scorpion. What's that?
Have a silhouette of a person being just crushed by a stone.
Just the moment that it was
Like an exorcism. It'll look something.
that or me passing out with the keg this year.
So we may have to recap that for your audience because
Right, we'll do it now.
All right, that's June 23. Third alternate to go to PSL.
Yep.
Absolute nobody in the sport. Decided to do it for the experience and because I was fangirling over 90% of the athletes that were competing. And on a disgusting amount of reps on the stone over bar versus Carly Oliveira, which also was a huge fangirl moment after watching her at Clash of the 64s doing stone over
That
bar.
was when she did like a ton of reps and her shirt was just disintegrated, right?
Oh, it was gone. It was
So I
gone.
saw that. I followed Carly since nationals with you, Tyler. So I saw that, but I didn't see yours. I got to check it out.
Yeah, I think I did 16 and Carly was, I think she ended on like 20 or something. She was just grifting through people. But my last rep, I was extending the stone and I had a really crappy underbelt on, which was held together by duct tape. But being rep 16, the duct tape had nothing left and my underbelt exploded. So when it exploded, I went, and scorpioned with the stone and it rolled up my face. I had road rash up the side of my face.
Yeah.
And that is quite literally how I became known in the sport is because I got scorpioned by an Atlas stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was watching that. I was
I can't
watching
wait to
that.
see the video.
And that's the first time I ever saw Megan because I was watching the 64 kilogram PSL show live, I guess. And that's the first time I ever saw her. And then I met her in person like a couple years later, a year or so later at OSG. Yeah.
There was also a very embarrassing moment in that stone over bar where on 2 occasions my crop top did indeed become attached to my chin. So
Oh,
it's
really?
just, oh yeah.
I can't wait for you to send me the video because I'm going to try and splice it in now. I'm going to splice it in now, not 45 minutes ago. But that'd be a badass logo if you're like bent over like this. That could be pretty cool.
I'm like fully more angular than that one.
Like that.
Oh yeah, like there.
And then next year maybe we'll have both and we'll do a fan vote like who's got the better logo. That's awesome. Do you guys prefer to prep for the same shows because you're married, you're together, or do you like separate preps so that way maybe one person can focus on the other, help them more or something?
I don't think we have a preferred format because generally we'll do that with our training sessions anyway. I'll tend to come out a little bit before Tyler and get started on my warm up so that then I'm moving into my sets and Tyler will be there to like change my weights and do his thing whilst he's warming up. So by the time I've gone through my session and I'm doing accessories or whatever, Tyler's warmed up and it's time for him to do his main. So then I'm helping him. So kind of no matter what we're doing, we work it in a way that we can both support one another. Or like in the lead up to OSG, our deadlift days were on different days. So we would work it so that if I was deadlifting, Tyler was doing like a cardio day or like a bike and stretch day so that his full focus could be helping me and being there to do the grunt work so that I could just be mindless and do what I needed to do. And then I would just sing for him.
It is fun though when we do have the same events coming up in a competition because like things that she learns or things that I learn, we
Yeah.
can share knowledge. So sharing knowledge on event prep can be a big advantage, because I've won world championships, she's won world championships now, and when you're married to someone who's at that level, knowledge is very valuable.
Of course.
And I learn things from Megan all the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's funny. I just started following Meg. We talked about that, but I followed you for a while, Tyler, and I've seen some stuff that you've posted are tips that you got from Meg. I probably should have followed Meg a while ago. I have this thing. I try not to follow people until I meet them, just to keep a more not passionate following. But when I follow somebody, I want to try to invest in their journey. If you follow 5, 6, 700 people, you don't have time for it all. So I try and just follow people I've met through competition. I really try to stick to that.
yeah.
Sometimes, I follow Mitchell Hooper. I never really met him, but you know what I mean. So
It's all
that
good.
spurred. What's that?
I said, it's all good. You don't need to. You're not missing out on anything.
Well, no, I already saw a couple of your posts, and I could ask questions about that, but I have some more. So your answer there just gave me another question, right? That's how this stuff works. When you guys were at PSL, Tyler, you were there all day helping Meg in the morning, right? So your adrenaline's probably spiking, watching her, supporting everything. You're on your feet all day. You have to get ready for your show. Similarly, Meg, you finish your show, you're probably like a little tired, right? You want to relax or whatever. But when you're watching your husband, your adrenaline must be like what's that like that day? What was it? It was called like an 8, 9 hour day, PSL for both of us, right? What was that like?
I get more nervous and amped and on edge when Tyler is competing than for myself. I think we're both pretty similar in that sense.
Yeah.
I'll let you speak in a sec. I'm a very chilled out competitor. I'm generally bouncing around. You may have seen it at the PSL show. I'm generally cracking jokes, dancing, and being a bit of tomfoolery. And I'm fine with that because it's me. I'm doing the things. But when Tyler is competing, my brain goes into like overdrive, and I'm like, oh, he's got to have these belts and these shoes and this thing, and oh, his back was hurting last week. What if it pulls on the deadlift? Okay, if it does, then we're going to do this and this. And there's like a constant, like, insert the Rain Man, like, fractions going on around my
Yeah.
head.
It's like you care so much about him, right? So that shines through. It's like familial, like family, not familiar, familial. I could say like a almost like a mother's love. Like you care more about your people, your spouse, your children, your parents, than you care about yourself. Like somebody could talk trash to me and I don't care, but if somebody talks trash to my nephew, I'm going to war. You know what I mean? So probably like a
Oh,
same vibe when he's
like my
competing.
friend,
You're
watch me.
Hmm.
I don't care what people say about me, but if you talk trash on my friends in my weight class or in other weight classes, or you say anything against my husband,
yeah,
which
that's great.
Yeah, I enjoy being her. We call it being each other's bag bitch.
Yeah,
So
I've seen that.
you get given the fanny pack of power.
yeah, I mean, like when she wins a world championship or a big show, like I get part of that, because I'm her husband, her training partner,
Yeah.
and I'm her bag bitch. Like I win too, so I enjoy when she wins just as much as when I win. And my contribution on game day is being the bag bitch, and I try to be the best bag bitch I can be.
Gotta have a
World star
t-shirt. You
bag.
gotta have a t-shirt made up. Yeah, world
You gotta
strongest
get
egg fish, dude.
And yeah, so and I love it. Like I love supporting her and watching her. And I do get probably more nervous when she goes than when I go. And because I'm not in control. When she's going, I'm not in control. She's in control.
Yeah.
When I'm going, I'm in control. So it's more nerve wracking when she's going for sure. I try not to let my adrenaline. I don't ever jump around and act crazy. I try to keep my adrenaline, at a minimum when she's going and when I'm going.
Yeah, I've noticed
You
that
want,
about you. Yeah.
yeah, I don't typically, even if I do really good on an event, I don't scream and yell. I'm probably one of the more chill athletes. Kind of
Yeah.
save it for the next event. Maybe the very last event I'll
He just
celebrate.
does this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's work to be done. The show ain't over till it's over, and you expect to be in the top spot. It comes with all that success you've had. Like I did the bio for both of them. And guys, Tyler's won everything. Everybody knows who Tyler is. He's literally, we called it the Tyler Slam. you've won the big four over your career and you're still podium in every show. And then, so let's lead into that because I said also soon to be, I think it was number 162, right?
Yeah.
Athlete
Oh
162.
Yeah.
yeah, Beast Games. Yeah.
Yeah.
162 in the Beast Games. Now, I know we can't talk much about it, but Tyler, you were invited to participate in the Beast Games. Um,
Yeah.
and I know you can't say much. It's going to air January 7th, I think, right? I'll let you talk about it. But one
Good,
question
good.
I had.
First podcast I'm doing and talking about Beast Games, so it
Awesome.
should be a big honor for you. You know, all the news
Yeah,
media
this
want the
this
inside information.
there's so much good stuff we've talked about, but maybe I'll have to take a clip of this and snip it and put it in a reel for you. Although I'm getting off the rails here, but Beast Games question, right? And it really has nothing to do with Beast Games itself because I know you can't talk till the episodes come out. By the way, I hope you win. Um, I like Mr. Beast. I just started watching him like a year ago. He's
He's a
entertaining.
big deal.
Yeah, he's made it big time, but he's entertaining. How long can you answer? How long were you away from home for that?
Well, so I gotta be careful how I answer that. Let me say what
Oh
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
about it.
you can't say that. All right, I can
So
reframe it.
yeah, well, what was really cool, so there were like 400,000 people who applied,
I heard that.
from what I'm hearing, and only 200 were selected. The theme this year was strong versus smart. They chose 100 really qualified smart people and 100 qualified strong people. And I was actually tapped because I was emailed. They were looking for more people who had like strength sports wins, I think, like championships and stuff.
Yeah,
And
you're
they
the guy.
reached
You're
out.
the guy.
Yeah, they reached out to me actually, and
Really?
yeah, and I didn't know who Mr. Beast was, to be honest, like because that's like my kid's generation. He's like God, you know, he's a huge deal. I
Yep.
mean, he's the number one YouTuber in the world. So
Mhm.
I found him from his Joe Rogan interview, and I'm like, all right, who is this guy? And his
yeah,
stuff is catchy. It's catchy videos.
yeah, he's got like over 400 million followers in just the English language, and he's got other, you know, more other languages, more followers than those, I think. But
Insane.
anyways, so you know, I read the email and I was like, at first, is this a scam? And
Yeah.
then I researched who Mr. Beast was, and you know, I called the person, and it was legit. And she had me submit a video, and she said, "Yeah, we're looking for like strong versus smart, and we're looking for people who have accomplishments in strength sports, basically." And they ended up selecting me, and yeah, we went to several locations. It was a pretty crazy experience. I was there for a while. And you can see on, I guess, what Beast Games has posted. You saw I was on an island. You saw I was fighting somebody with some pugil sticks, and yeah, it was a pretty cool experience, pretty cool time. So yeah, that comes out on Amazon Prime on January 7th, and yeah, you have to see how far
Tune
I
in,
make it.
tune in, guys. Did they? And again, if you can't answer anything, we'll just move on. Did
Yeah.
they? Were you gone? You can't. Don't say how long, but were you gone the whole time, or did they, like did you fly out to an island, do a show, do an event, then come home, then go do another event next weekend? Or
We're gone the whole time. So yeah, they take your cell. So whenever someone competes on Beast Games as a contestant, on day one when you get there, they take your cell phone away, and there is no contact with your family. You
Mhm.
don't have any internet. You can't even watch like TV hardly in your room. Like they don't want anything with the outside world. It's just
Right?
basically talking to the people who are the guards, you know, they wear masks and stuff, and then are
Yep.
like some of the other contestants. And so it is like you're in another universe pretty much.
Yeah.
And
There's
yeah,
there's
you don't know what happens in the world the whole time you're gone. Like,
there's some psychological to it. So not talking about Beast Games, but for those of you who don't watch Mr. Beast, I've watched a bunch of them. Like he'll take a guy, put him in a grocery store, an empty grocery store that he bought that has groceries, and they'll say, "Hey, you have to live here for 200 days, and you can't talk to nobody, can't do nothing. If you stay, I'll give you $1 million." And you see the psychological change in these people after they're there 10 days, 20 days, 30, 40. They're like, "Hey, if you knock 50 grand off, I'll let you see your family for a day." So it's I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, last
yeah.
question pertaining to that, if you can answer, did it, you don't talk about duration, did it affect any of your preps? Because you did 4 big shows this year,
Yeah.
right? Was it 3 or 4? Was it hard
Yeah.
to get your training in? Did it affect any of your training?
So we did live. You can see on what they've posted. I'm trying to only talk to things that they posted that I'm allowed to talk
Yeah.
about. The city that I was in Beast City, they did have a gym there,
Okay.
which was pretty cool. And so I was able to train a little bit, like, and my method was to do some heavy weights and just low reps because I also had to do like, events for the
Mm.
show, to make sure I didn't hurt myself and make sure I was like had energy for that too. But I would do like 600-pound deadlifts in the city, and people were like, "Damn, this dude's
Who is this
strong."
guy?
Yeah. And so yeah, so I was trying to stay in shape, but yeah, I did have America's Strongest Man, and I will say it probably affected my prep a little bit for that one. But also it was nice to take some time off too. I will say, uh, for instance, after a certain period of time, without working out or working out a lot less, I feel like my body kind of had some time to recover, and like I had no back pain, and I kind of it was a good reprieve, I guess, from training.
Yeah.
I think by once I started training again, I was right back where I was, and I won't say it affected, like I won PSL after that,
Yeah.
and I finished third.
Handily, handily.
Yeah, and I finished third at official strongman games. At one point, Megan and I were both in first place at official strongman games.
Oh,
So
so you both got the cool leader shirts,
yeah, we both had a leader shirt.
We both went into finals.
I had,
Agree.
yeah, basically I screwed up one event and she kind of screwed up one event. So, that's the way the sport goes. You can't have any mistakes.
Yeah. And then I don't know if it was natural stones because a lot of people messed. Some people did good. A lot of people messed them up because you don't know what to expect. I had some natural stones to train with, but they're all different, right?
Yeah.
Um, so with Beast Games, hopefully now that they know who you are, Tyler, next
Mhm.
season 3, maybe they'll get Meg in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
Meg's equally as successful, right? Like you got the connection
I wish
already.
I've been one of the things, when I went there, I tried to make good connections with the producers, trying to be no trouble, being like a really good contestant and
Yeah.
winning over some producers and stuff. And I talked up my wife because we had just gotten married in May, and
2 weeks before you left
yeah, two
Okay.
weeks after we got married, I left and went on to the show.
with no contact. No
And
nothing.
so, I'm recently married, and so I'm on the show. They're, tell us about yourself, and I bragged a lot about my new wife.
Awesome.
Uh, and so they know all about Megan. So
That's great.
yeah, and now she
Hopefully,
has a green card, so she would be eligible for. Yeah, she's a green card.
It's an actual
yeah.
green card.
She's
It's
Is it
actual
really?
green
Yeah,
card.
I've seen it
Okay.
before. Yeah.
a permanent resident of the United States now, so yeah, she'd be eligible to be on a season 3. So we'll
Awesome.
try.
That's great. Yeah. Hopefully you were like a charismatic, awesome, entertaining guy, and Mr. Beast is like, hey, what is this PSL thing? Let me like do a reality show for PSL 90, right? Because 90, we all know 105 is an awesome weight class to watch, but 90 is the most entertaining. And I don't
And
say that because
all we're missing really is like a couple of rich friends to the to the sport.
that's it.
Really all
I joke around with my friends all the time. I said, what this sport needs, because like the heavyweights do a lot of YouTube and stuff. They have World's Strongest Man, they have bigger shows, so they have bigger reach, right? That obviously they should. They're the one hitting 500-pound logs and carrying refrigerators and stuff like the olden days, towing the airplanes. But I said, man, if I ever won Powerball, I would just say to like guys like you, I'll be like, hey, dude, I'll give you 50 grand. Come to a house like the Ultimate Fighter for 6 weeks. We'll do strongman challenges. At the end, we'll do a show and we'll get to know characters. Not that strongman needs
yeah.
WWE style characters, but you invest in the people. Like things like this, hopefully, can get people to invest. Right now, most of the fans of the sport are our family and friends and fellow competitors, right? And I see it getting bigger and bigger. Hopefully, it can get a little more mainstream because athletes like you guys deserve a little more attention. And yeah, prize money would be great, right? If it could be a true career and you can afford to train 24/7, right? Not 24/7, but all right, last group of questions, and I say group of questions because I put a question box up yesterday, right? And I talked to Hein about this. I know that I need to build the right following to get interaction, and hopefully episodes like this where we're talking, people will be interested. Like, oh, I want to ask a question. I want to be involved because I always shout people out who ask questions. So I didn't get a lot of questions this time. I think people sometimes like they watch. And I talked to Hein about this. People watch you, but they may not like or comment. But then you'll see them at OSG and be like, "Oh, I saw that thing you did. I saw this. I saw that." And it's tough to get interaction sometimes. But the MVP for today, I don't even know if you guys know her, but I'm going to call her my co-host for today, Hannah Coldiron. She sent me 5 questions.
Me today. She
What's that?
texted me today.
Did
Hannah's
she?
one of my best friends. She texted me today about
That's
it.
awesome. So I woke up this morning with, and it wasn't even in the question box. It was a DM. Questions for Meg and Tyler. We'll get into it in a second. So I'll tell a quick funny story. Hannah at 2020. Let me Tarantino this year. Hannah, I had an issue with Hannah, right? There was an altercation at one of the OSGs, and I'm like, man, F that girl, right? And this year on the floor, she's looking around. Does anybody have a lacrosse ball? Does anybody have a lacrosse ball? And I have a lacrosse ball. But I'm like, oh, that's Hannah. She was mean to me last year. And I was like, and I know who she is. She doesn't know who I am. She trained at my gym once. She was on vacation. I said, Hannah, I said, I got a lacrosse ball. I was warming up. I said, it's in my bag right over there. And she grabbed it. She put it back. She said, thank you so much. Right. Bailed her. I don't know if she needed it for her or her athlete. And we talked a little bit. She knows my coach, Nico. We talked a little bit in passing. And at the end of the show, day 3, I said to her, all right, Hannah, now that we know each other a little bit, I got to tell you, I said, last year during the sled push warmups, the girls were still warming up and I hadn't get any touches yet. So I went to push the sled and she goes, can you let the girls who were actually going next warm up, please? And I was like, whoa, like, okay. Like she kind of yelled at me. So I told her, I said, man, in that moment, I was like, man, this girl's mean, you know? And I said, but you won me back over this year. I said, I extended the olive branch. I gave you a lacrosse ball. You were nice to me. And she said, yeah, now we're friends, right? And I said, yeah. She goes, look at that. OSG repairs relationships. So that's how Hannah even follows me and was
Yeah,
here to ask these questions.
Huh? All right.
I gotta say, I have a little bit of notoriety for being that person at shows,
Yeah.
especially if there's under 80s, because under 80s are chronic overwarmer uppers and they jump on 64s all the time. And I've literally been like, you're 5'4". I'm taller than you. Leave.
Ah,
One of those issues that you don't have at PSL because there's not 500 athletes.
dude, exactly. We had no issues with that, man. It's like, hey,
The
man,
one
can I,
thing
can
that
I jump on this? You know?
The one thing that I will say about like Hannah being like that with the 64s is what people don't realize about the 64 kilo women is that for years we have been used as guinea pigs and we've been discarded.
Yeah.
Our event weights get changed on the fly. It happened OSG 23, OSG 24. Things get changed for us because they go, oh, you won't be able to do that. You're just happens at all of the shows. You're just a
Yeah.
little girl. You won't be able to do it.
That's
And then
interesting.
that attitude breeds into other competitors who are like, well, your weights aren't that much, so you don't need to warm up.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
all
like,
right.
that's cool. I bet you look if you look at power to weight ratio, I'm much stronger than you, little man. Go away.
Yeah. 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 I won't lie. When Hannah talked to me like that, I was like, I know you're one of the best in the world, but like, I'm a 200-pound man. Like, why are you talking to me like that? Like primal, but that's not to be like that. That could maybe come off as like sexist, but I was like, okay, I'm sorry, you know? And the funny thing is, I told her that happened. And then timing wise, I didn't get any warm ups with the sled and I messed up the sled. I tried pushing it like this and everybody was
And
getting it here and driving. I was in the lead. It cost me about 4 seconds, but I wasn't going to be a day 3 guy anyways. Um, it's funny. With the warm ups, there was at OSG last year. There was one girl, dude. There was her coach wanted to literally fight Andrew Hanus over the warm ups because like all the guys warming up with like 600 pounds in the deadlift, right? There was no more plates. This one girl mistimed her warm up so bad. She was still warming up. She had 4 plates, and we're like, we need the plates. Like us guys got to warm up. I was with John Hack and Dan Benson, 2 of the best deadlifters in the planet. Tyler, you were there. You were just over with the other guys warming up, and it was just crazy. Like, and so some of that got alleviated this year with the way they changed the weight classes. I'll say this for OSG. I don't know about you guys. I loved the way it was run this year. It seemed very efficient. Live stream was awesome. And for me, warming up with like the masters this year, because I was a master on 41, what a different vibe. Like, don't get me wrong, the 90s were great. Dude, there's a couple guys in our class, Tyler, one of which we talked about earlier that's not recorded that we didn't say his name. So it'll be an inside joke at this point, who are kind of cocky in the moment. Like at log warm-ups, he's like
oh, I
cocky.
have a story.
So all right, we'll get like you guys know who we're talking about, so we'll keep it like this. But it's like there's a little bit of peacocking with the 90s because we're still young, we're all adrenaline soaked. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just staying. It's my first time here. I can't even press what these guys are warming up. I'll just chill. And unfortunately, I got less warm-ups. Like you said, Meg, maybe not as much stuff. And then, but this year with Masters, man, I'm warming up next to Big Z. Everybody's just, yeah, man, go ahead. Oh, we're chilling, you know. And real quick, the thing you said about the 64s, that hit me. If I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. I think it was Luke Davies, right, who comments on stuff. I like Luke. Um, he said something like, "Oh, another year where like the bags weren't heavy enough for the 64s. When are they going to start treating these women like world-class strong women? Because like I think maybe some of the girls just destroyed the steeplechase, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, from first place to eighth place, it was under zero point 0.5 of a second.
First to eighth was under 0.5.
Yeah, our like we are the fastest movers.
Holy smokes. That's stopwatch error. You have to alleviate that. Like they have to
What
give
was,
you more weight.
what was mine? There was me and the person who was in third place in that event was 0.03. It was
Holy
literally
smokes.
a off moment.
Yeah, see, so there's not to talk about orgs, but there's another great thing about PSL with the lasers. But because
Yeah.
and not to say anything negative about judging, but we're humans. Like when did the bag hit? When did you click the button? I've seen judges like just forget to hit the timer, and that's could be life changing. It could be the difference between you winning the show or coming in third, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. So
But
yeah, definitely you need more weight or a longer duration, maybe a third bag, right? For
yeah, that's the thing that comes into play and has come into play every year that I've been at OSG is that the bags are always too light and they go, oh well, you can just run it faster.
right, and you
Which,
can't.
yeah, looks great for us and it makes for a dogfight and I love it.
Yeah.
But then you're watching pretty much every other class not finish the steeplechase.
Yeah.
So what does that look like for our athletic prowess, for how hard we work? It's like, oh, well, you finished it in X amount of time because everything was too light for you.
Yeah, it becomes a totally different event where it's who can get their hands under the bag fastest, transition, crawl under a crossbar fastest. Like the lever deadlift at 2023 Nationals, it wasn't really a grip event. It was who's the fastest carabiner clipper. So case in point, to make your case even better for the ladies at Masters, I got second. I did it in 45 seconds. Paul Mwanza, 42 seconds. Paul Mwanza was blistering 36 seconds, right? He got first. Third place was my buddy Damien Curtis, pro strongman. He was like 57 seconds. He was the only other person. Sorry, there was two other guys who got four bags, Ben McLean. But there was like 16, 17 seconds between us. So like there's plenty of differentiation. Now, sadly for me, I wish more guys snuck between so I could have moved up the to the podium, not to the podium, but but that's different. There's just a little different talent pool in Masters right now, which is getting better. But you were gonna say something. I kind of said something that struck a nerve. You want to say something a minute ago?
Uh, Talking in the 90s and warm up areas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Here at OSG, I had a so when we talk about bag bitching, it's also a case of like, I know what warm ups Tyler wants to do, and I'll be looking at the log. I know what weight's on there. I'm keeping an eye on it, and I'm like, all right, cool, it's your time to join the queue as it is at OSG because people are filtering through.
Yep.
So not only that, I had one of my athletes, and I also had one of my best friends from New Zealand competing. So I'm managing this, and I noticed when they were doing the log, they had the Cerberus pads, and guys were slamming down the empty log. So they're slamming it down. I'm like, I know that's 155 pounds. You don't need to be doing that. And it kept happening, kept happening. And the pads started to pull away. And I mean, there was what, 40 guys in your class? 40 something?
45, yeah.
45 guys in the class. So I'm filtering people through and also being like, all right, there's 200 pounds on the log. Who needs 200 pounds?
Yep.
And like trying to like steward
Being
essentially
like a dead mother for the guys. Yeah.
yeah, but also like it enables me to keep an eye on for things for my husband.
Mhm.
And I literally just put my head up and I said to this English athlete, I said, don't slam the log down on the pads. These are the only pads you have for the whole weekend. Please treat the equipment with respect.
Mm-hmm.
This certain English athlete was about 4 inches from my face, cussing, calling me all the names under the sun, telling me, I don't even know who you are. You should back off. You're nothing. Blah, 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 blah. Kept going, kept going. And then went out and zeroed the log.
Karma.
So zero,
Karma's,
yeah,
Karma's a bitch.
peacocking all the way through the warm-ups and giving it the rah, and
There's
the
no
warm.
place. There's no place for treating any people like that, but women as well, right? Especially in the sport, right? With a lot of men bravado stuff. If you want to call them out, feel free. but you're a champion and maybe you don't. But people like that maybe in some cases should be outed for that behavior, you know?
He's been outed in his own circles.
Okay,
His
good.
behavior, his behavior
Good.
was seen by a lot of people, and he was outed in his own circles. Um, I mean, I just want to talk it on here because that's not behavior that we should have in our sport. I don't
Yeah.
care what weight class you're in, who you are. I mean, my husband's a world champion across many platforms. You will never see him doing that.
Yeah. So
So,
guys, treat
yeah,
people with respect, treat people the way you want to be treated. If you see this shit, you see something, say something, right? Or you're complicit. You see it and you don't say something. I know you might not want an altercation, but like you're equally as guilty as the person who did it, in my opinion, you know. And case in point, like Hannah snapped at me, but I was okay, you know, I understand, you know. When there's no place for that in the sport. So I'm sorry that that happened to you. If I saw it, I would say something. I've been exactly where you're at with men because I was 41 years old, 40 years old, me and Nick O'Hare, everybody else is young. And I was just like, all right, guys, who needs this? Who needs that? I was kind of facilitating warm-ups selfishly because I'm the guy who needs to unload a lot of it to get it back down to like 225, you know? All right, so guys, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. Not we're about at about 45 minutes recording now, thankfully. We got the 5 questions from Hannah. Do you want to take your time or do you want to maybe do like a fun lightning round?
let's go lightning round. I like lightning round.
Okay.
All right, so we'll do lightning round and we'll let Meg go first, then Tyler. All right. How does having a high level spouse in the sport affect training?
Means that you're always supported. And for me personally, if I'm having a really shitty training session, he will level me with reality and, be like, it's not really that bad. It's okay. We all have these days. And then you see your spouse also having those shitty training sessions. So it really helps keep you on an even keel.
Tyler, same
So I
question.
love when he hurts.
What it means that having a world class spouse, well, she does nutrition. It means that I don't have to think about any meals that I eat. She cooks everything for me. So
Dude, that
breakfast, lunch,
we
snacks.
can we can pause the lightning round. That's awesome. Like I love my
He doesn't
wife. We're on a
know
mission.
when he's cutting weight.
What's that?
He doesn't know when he's cutting weight.
She just lowers it a little bit, and I
Yep.
don't
It'd be
know.
like whatever she puts in front of you, you eat. And like, oh man, that's awesome. It's funny because I yell up to my wife's upstairs like when I was talking to Kai, I said, oh, I gotta. Nick was setting a great example as a father and a husband and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I hope my wife doesn't see this. She's gonna expect more out of me. But like with you doing the meal prep and the nutrition, it's like hard to cheat, right? If you can't have a bag of Oreos in the cabinet, the wife's gonna see you got the same goals. And me and the wife do too. But like, it's easy for me to be like, nah, babe, I'm getting pizza tonight. You know, off season gains. All right, back to the lightning round. So it said, how does having a high level spouse, how does it improve the relationship?
I think because we understand the peaks and the troughs that come with being an athlete. When your spouse isn't an athlete, I think there's not the understanding of not only the physical load, but the mental load that comes alongside it. And even if it's not the mental load, just the energy expenditure that sometimes you don't have. And if your spouse isn't in the sport, be like, just don't go to the gym. You don't need to train. You're so good at this. You can just, and on the days where I'm like, I really don't want to do this. And Tyler will say to me, just do your warm up and see how it feels. And, those have been some of the best training sessions I've had because I just haven't had any pressure on myself. And if he knows I'm having a tough time with it, I've got that support there as well.
Yeah, having a spouse that does the same sport is really nice because it's quality time. So, if you don't have a spouse that doesn't train or weightlift and do the same passion as you, you lose out really on that quality time. Versus, when we have the same passion, we're always together.
Dude, that's a great point. I didn't even think of that as part of this interview because my wife did a powerlifting meet and I do strongman, but we trained together a little bit. I wasn't in prep, but it was nice training with my wife, like because like you're doing something and yeah, maybe not date night or something, but it is quality time, especially in the crucible of training, pushing each other and learning new things about each other. That's awesome. Um, why is Hannah your favorite person?
Because she is. She's hand. I mean, I hope that the big hand comes back down to 64 sometimes. so that we can compete alongside each other again. But yeah, she's my favorite hen.
Yeah,
I
that'll be
like
really.
watching competitions with their death before dishonor apparel on, doing their little I don't know, little booty twerks and dancing and acting goofy. It's fun.
Actually, at America's Strongest Woman, my sister was watching in Scotland and she sent me a video and she was like, "Oh, your hair looks really good." And it was a video of Hannah.
She'll
And
sit
she's
there
like,
like,
yeah, and she's like, "Oh, she could be your younger sister." And I'm like, "She's older than me."
Yeah, maybe now that we're all friends, we can get her to come to the 64s next year. Because I mean, I'm going PSL 90 again. I'm sure you're going to defend the title, Tyler, and I'm sure I'll see you there. Meg, obviously defend your title, so maybe we'll get her there. Maybe we'll entice her to come over.
yeah, she
Um,
should.
so this one is for Meg. Biggest difference in adjusting in America?
Um, kilos to pounds, dude.
Kilos to pounds. Just gonna say that. Besides kilos to pounds, yeah, that's tough. So funny,
Oh,
funny you say that. I have the opposite because I train in an Ollie gym, right? I found a nice, like, kind of
oh,
private Ollie gym near my house, and I bought all my own strongman equipment. They let me store it there, and all the plates are kilos. So I like
yeah.
sometimes I'll redo the math, and sometimes I just send my coach my numbers in kilos, and I have messed up many of sets because I just did the math wrong in my head, and it was 20 pounds too heavy or too light.
Hmm.
She also had to learn to drive on the right side of the road too.
And the
Ah,
right side of the car, left side of the car, left side of the car. It's not only the opposite side of the road, you're in the opposite side of the car. Literally, we've just gone over our like 2025 goals, and what we've accomplished and what's going to move on into next year. And one of our goals was actually written by me, that Tyler has patience with a scared Meg learning to drive on the wrong side of the road and the wrong side of the car.
Yeah. She's
ooh,
also had to just, you don't have like a 9 to 5 job anymore. And she just like stays busy then. She's
yeah.
always in the kitchen, like cooking stuff. She's always like walking around the house. She's like doing like, handyman stuff on the house. She never stays still. So I don't know. I think that has to be an adjustment for her.
All whilst trying to deal with my clients who are 18 hours in front of us.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of your clients are from New Zealand?
I still have my client base from New Zealand. They've still stuck with me through it all.
Oh, awesome.
So there's some times where they'll have a competition and I'm up at, stupid o'clock,
Watching it.
um, watching it and being on the phone when they're doing their weight cuts and things like that. Um, but it hasn't actually been too hard. I mean, I brag on them a lot, but when you have such like incredible support at home, there's nothing that you can't accomplish.
Yeah.
Um, I've had my tough days where, I've missed my people or, things in New Zealand. I mean, even now getting older, I get homesick for my mom who's in Scotland. Um, but having a steady, stable human being that's your person that makes everything easier.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know what's funny? I just thought of this randomly. Um, in New Zealand and Australia, it's two different countries, right? Like, you got to educate me. But like, is it kind of similar? Like, is there a lot of competitions in Australia that you would go over there to do those? Like, because what I was going to get at is OSG had a lot of Australian representation this year. Like, there's a lot of strong people down under, and I like it's funny because like with somebody like you making it to the highest level of the sport, like maybe some organization could do a show out there and have like a champion's return, like in your honor. Like you go out there and compete and try and build up more hype for strongman in Australia and getting people to America.
So in Australia, you may or may not have been judged by Tiff at OSG. She's known
Tiff,
as
was she the blonde woman, like always in like lane two?
Yeah.
uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
she was great. She was great. Like I had her on circus dumbbell and deadlift, a little slow in the down command of deadlift, but fair, totally fine. And then circus dumbbell, she was more than fair, more than fair. I was struggling with the 160. Like some people complained about Nick Best, other people, whatever, not to say names, but like again, I don't complain about judging because they're volunteering and like nobody is perfect. But I thought she was great. I think a lot of people actually did think she was great.
Yeah, so Annie Tiff has taken over the reins of Australia's Strongest. So Australia's Strongest actually has a full calendar throughout the year. They have the state titles, they have middleweight titles, they do Australia's Strongest Man and Woman. They have a lot going on in Australia, whereas in New Zealand there is not a lot. There's two federations who bang heads, and if you compete for one, you'll normally get snubbed for the other. But like shout out to Engineered Strength Gym, gym that I started with my friend and client Kurt, is doing the work in the South Island of New Zealand to try and have more accessibility to competitions, so they're not all in the North Island of the country. And a lot of the boys and the women that are coming up are starting to venture across to Australia more for the international opportunities. I mean, there's always an OSG ticket available in New Zealand for national champions. But if you want to punch it to PSL or things like that, then you can have to get known across the board.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when orgs work together, because it's tough if there's no qualifier opportunities for PSL out there that PSL will recognize like an OSG or a nationals or something. Because case in point, like you were an alternate, and now you're one of the best. You're the best. You won this year, and you got that opportunity, much like I got opportunity at the qualifier. Tyler, we are spoiled here. We do have a lot of opportunity in all the orgs. Strongman's very popular here. It is in Europe too. One thing on my list is to get overseas. I got to get overseas and compete at least once. I'm looking at maybe ultimates this year, but enough about me. Last question from Hannah, and maybe we'll end it here, guys. If you could pick a strength of the other, so each other, what would you steal if you could? For example, is if one is really good at farmers and the other isn't. So Meg, what strength of Tyler's would you take pertaining to strongman? And Tyler, which one of Meg's would you take?
I know mine. Let me go ahead and think. I know mine would be the arm over arm rope pull. That's one event I just quite like. I don't know if I rush it or what. Like I let slack in the rope, but she always like nails that event. And we have an arm over arm again. It's going to be at the Arnold in March, and that's the one I want to defend. I won it this year, so I want to win it again in 2026. And there's an arm over arm. And so, yeah, I'm going to be training that in our garage. We do everything from our garage.
Yep. I watched some of your arm over arm training for PSL because I kind of I think I saw the way you wrapped it. You got that big ass forearm we saw at PSL. And the rope just it takes too long for you to wrap it. You know, where I got.
The issue was I had figured out the technique, I think, but my rope doesn't have any. It's not like
the rope at PSL was elastic.
Elastic, yeah. My rope is real stiff. And the rope at PSL was a little elastic, so I went and pulled it, and like it just wasn't the same. I want to go to get that next grip, and like it was like all this slack or something.
Yeah, you had to almost keep
wasn't quite.
Yeah. You know what's funny? That might have benefited a guy like me because I got second in that event, and I'm not that great at rope pull. But maybe because I'm not as strong as some of you guys, low back, legs, arms, maybe that springiness, maybe it never reverberated because for me it felt like it was tight the whole time. But
yeah,
probably wasn't getting those
like
explosive pulls.
I need to get like the same rope that's going to be at the competition in my garage to train it.
Yeah, perfect.
That's what I would still Megan's arm over arm sled pull, with the rope.
All right, how about you, Meg?
I would probably steal Tyler's ability to have yoke not feel any heavier once it gets to a certain point.
All right. Because it does.
Yeah, in the training we were doing training for actually competing at Chaos last year. I basically exploded my foot on a 660 yoke, and since then I've been a little bit tentative. And I get up over 500 pounds, and I'm like, oh, this is a slog. This is so hard. And this guy's like, yeah, once it gets over 600, everything feels the same.
600 and 900.
It's an embarrassment of riches with this guy, isn't it? No weaknesses.
I won the yoke carry at Arnold last year, and I won the yoke carry at America's as well. So Arnold and America's Strongest Man, two yoke wins in this year. So yoke has become a very good event for me, actually. So
nice.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, still my yoke strength.
Yoke is not my.
And the awesome thing is, you guys already stole each other's hearts, right? There we go. End it with like a cheesy, lovey thing. So next for you guys, I was going to ask, it's the Arnold for both of you?
Yeah, March 7th, I believe.
So it's a short off season. I saw Meg's post. I think today you were squatting, talking about off season and difference with food. But so you got a couple week off season, right? Before you.
Yeah, I've been back into training. I'm actually I tore my I tore an erector from the base of my pelvis 2 weeks before America's Strongest Woman, so in June. So I've been like band-aiding it the whole year. So I'm trying to do a little bit of rehab on that because I got really bad nerve pain down one side of my body.
Mm.
So we're trying to rehab that and then come into Arnold as strong as possible without flaring it up again.
And it's safe to say we'll see you guys, or the plan is at least to see you guys at PSL again.
Oh, hey.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll be there, and we'll do the Arnold, and also we're doing Grid League, which is
Oh, yeah, we took on a new
Oh
sport this
yeah, I think I've
yeah,
seen some of that. It's like a team, somewhat
yeah.
CrossFitty, but it's
They
a
have
team.
strength
Yeah.
specialists, and so we'll do some Grid League. We're on team a Miami team, South Beach Palms.
Yeah.
We're on and that's someone that I met actually on Beast Games. There's a girl named Briley who's on that team. She owns the team. I met her on Beast Games, and she needs some strength specialists. So we're gonna do some of that this summer too for fun. But yeah, we're
That's really up and coming, right? Like High Rocks, Grid League, like that stuff's all like
yeah,
just surging in popularity, right?
People are seeing Grid League as up and coming, and now that it's in the social media age. But Grid League's been around for
10 years.
10 plus years. Like
Yeah.
coming from CrossFit myself, I remember like the OG women in CrossFit being like Kiana Welsh and a couple of the other women going across to Grid League. Um, and I actually spoke with Bradley's partner who owns Grid League. And he was like, you know, like the OGs. I'm like, I've been following this forever. My little under a rock, I thought Grid League had kind of died out
Uh,
until the last kind of year. And I'm like, holy heck, it's huge.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I like the aspect of they have teams. So you have like 10 teams in Grid League now. And I'm trying to see how could that format carry over to strongman possibly. Americans particularly love team sports.
Yeah.
And you have a team that has athletes of different weight classes and then field those athletes. And I think there's a model there, and I think it just hasn't been conceptualized completely.
There
Um,
definitely is. It's just maybe hard to get it off the ground. I just did 2 Saturdays ago a team competition, a strongman corp sanctioned team competition. We were the defending champions. We won again, and it's just awesome event. It's 5 events. The whole team does one event together. It's usually a grip thing where they take a cumulative score, and then everybody has to do 2 events. So it's essentially a 3 event show. So you're not killing yourself. It's so much fun.
yeah,
There's no stress because it's really just meant to be fun. And it had a nationals qualification attached to it, but it was such an awesome show. And people come out of the woodwork for those because who would want to be part of a team? I wish
Yeah.
we could
yeah,
see more of that. I wish also we could see more, not in high level strongman, but local strongman mystery events. I would love that. Show up. You don't know what 5 events it's going to be. Maybe nothing too crazy like tire flips that can risk your bicep, but like just show up and like CrossFit. You don't know the events till the day before kind of thing. I would just love that. Not at OSG or anything like that, obviously.
mm,
But listen, it was really great having you guys on. I apologize again about the recording, man. We got so much good stuff. It was such a great conversation. It was like everything I was hoping for getting you guys on here. But I think we encapsulated a lot of that in the next 45 minutes, anyways. Like
yeah.
I said, my heart sank. I'm like, oh my god, I did it. I forgot to hit record.
We'll
Anyways,
have to have us on. Maybe you can have us on again after the Arnold or something.
dude, that would be awesome because we could do a quick Arnold recap. I'm gonna be there, so I'll see you guys there. I'm gonna be helping Nico coach. He has like something like 8 or 10 athletes in there now, so I'm gonna be coaching both days. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I think my wife's coming down, so I'll introduce her to you guys. And then, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to sit down with you afterwards because I also, like I said, leading up to our show, I'm gonna want to hype if I can keep this going, right? If keep all these interviews going, I want to hype up all the championship PSL shows as I go. The thing is, like I said, I'm not affiliated just with PSL. We talked about all the orgs, but I love what PSL has done for me and other athletes. I want to give back, and there's no shortage of content because the calendar year it's all PSL, so I could just grab guys from this qualifier, grab guys. I'm going to talk to people from the Europe show, which I haven't announced yet, but I'm going to call Connor, who's involved with that show, who we went against, and talk to him about getting some guys to interview that to hype that up. Unfortunately, I won't be able to fly over there and help or anything, but just more and more of these, maybe get some hype and get more people tuning in and more athletes taking the chance and doing the qualifiers and coming to the show and hanging out with us.
Yeah. I know. I know inside information. Tyler Purdue's got a website made. He's going to release sometime soon, and it
Yeah,
looks.
yeah, you're jumping the lead because I think we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So
That's
I
great.
saw that. Did you guys see the sneak peek you sent out?
When you interview Tyler, you didn't tell him to release that damn website. I've been waiting for a while. So.
Yeah. So it's funny. I'm Tarantinoing this. I told you I didn't tell the people. I'm interviewing Tyler tomorrow, and we're going to kind of like hard launch the stuff I want to volunteer with the emceeing and stuff.
Yeah.
And he has, if he wants to talk about the website, great. Because I saw the 5 minute sneak peek. I'm sure you guys did. It
Uh-huh.
looks, it looks incredible, right?
I
I
know.
should.
I've been waiting for like weight class strongman. This is what we deserve. Like this is what we need. It takes us to be a mainstream sport. Like that's this. Every sport has this, and so it's like finally done it for us. So
Yeah,
whenever,
and not just the rankings and things like that. Like because like if you want to find something about PSL, I do all my PSL research on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, they don't have a website. And like when he showed me the website, like, and I gotta wait to talk to him, but like he has the champion bios, so like you can click on former champions, and it gives you a bio, your pictures up there. Like
uh,
it's, I think people are gonna be really excited for it. And I can't wait to talk with him about it tomorrow. And then after I release his episode with me, I'm going to release you guys and Nick Hine and then keep working on other people. So thank you so much again for coming on.
Thanks for having
Really love what you guys are doing. Good luck at the Arnold. I'll see you there. And is there? Oh, sorry. One last thing. Is there any sponsors or anything you got? Your coaching, anything like that that you guys would like to plug? I don't get a lot of views yet, but you're more than welcome to
yeah.
take a minute here if you want.
Actually, they sponsor PSL as well, Serious Still Fitness and Zone Smelling Salts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're based out of Roanoke, Virginia, which is where we do a lot of the 64 and 90 kilogram strongman competitions. I first encountered Serious Still because I forgot my knee sleeves at a competition. And usually I was wearing like SVD neoprene knee sleeves. And so I bought some, I think they're a type of cotton actually. And I bought them from Serious Still Fitness, and they have like more rebound. They were great. I loved them,
They got pull-on tabs.
and they got pull-on tabs. And so
I
I really,
noticed that watching PSL that you had the pull tabs.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, what are those? I'm gonna have to pick up a pair because my I
yeah,
love
get you.
Cerberus, but my Cerberus are just getting really old, so I'll try them out.
What's crazy is their
right there.
neoprene is an expensive material, and cotton, what they build it out of, is actually cheaper, but it has more rebound. They're actually not allowed in powerlifting.
Oh.
It's a nice product, and it's nice and thick, and I love them. Like we both wore them for all of our wins this last year. They're great.
Code Davis.
Yeah, Code Davis. So yeah, we'd like to shout out Serious Still Fitness, and they support us. They also support strongman competitions. They supported OSG as well. They also have great bands. We use bands every single day. The rubber bands that you use to warm up, especially warming up, or you can add it to bars to add accommodating resistance on things. They have lots of great products. Serious Still Fitness, and then of course Zone Smelling Salts. They have like some of the best, coolest, those little like grenade looking canisters of
Oh
smelling
yeah,
salts. And they got cool.
smash them on the head, Evan Singleton style.
It's a lot of fun. The same company, they also sell those products.
And then
Of course
Depth.
Depth. Yeah, so Depth has probably the coolest apparel. I know like people are always jealous when they say that I'm sponsored by Depth because they're like, oh man, they got the coolest shirts. We get lots of swag from them. And
and it's really cool to be able to champion and support our friend's business. As I say, Hannah's one of my closest friends, and Jared, her husband, is absolutely wonderful. So being able to have
does Hannah own Depth? She owns
Jared
Depth?
Hannah.
Oh, all right.
Hannah.
Cool. I'll cop a headband. I like the headbands. I was thinking about copping one of OSGs. So I'll cop it. And I'm gonna get some Serious Steel sleeves. I made a note and I'll use Coach Davis.
we got like our garage is just full of banners from our sponsors. They're the Depth one, they Alien on it, so it's pretty cool.
Yep. And Zone makes great smelling salts, and they sponsor a lot of strongman events. I think I've done 2 or 3 events where one of the gifts for the athletes was some Zone smelling salts. They never let you down. So great stuff, guys. Thanks again. Thanks again for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.